It's Andrew from Next Astronomy International. We deal with a whole lot of telescopes because we are a fairly large network across the world of telescopes, and sometimes we come across something interesting. So I thought I'd show you this. This is something that's come across my desk. It's a QHY CCD liquid cooling kit. So for cooling your CCD or your CMOS, probably CCDs only, I'm guessing. I've never come across one of these before, so I thought I would open it up. I thought I'd do a bit of Googling and see what I could find, and there was very little on the internet about cooling systems for CCDs, for telescopes. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a rundown on what I found. We'll fit it to a telescope, this CDK17 that we're doing an upgrade on. It's got a FLI camera, which is liquid cooled only. So we've bought one of these, going to try it out, and you can see how they work, how they go together. If I have some problems, you'll learn from my problems as well, maybe. So this is the cooler. Looks very snazzy, doesn't it? It's clearly to me anyway, it's designed for the CPU cooling market, for people with high-end servers that want to keep their CPUs cool. They often like flashing lights and the like. There's a couple of coupling points, liquid out, liquid in. There's a radiator on the bottom, and the radiator is cooled by a couple of what I call cooling fans. I don't know if you can see those. I'm leaking some water out. I've done a little test on it to make sure it doesn't leak. It does if the tubes aren't on there. There's a little pump at this end, and there's a little window showing a little impeller to show that the water's or coolant is flowing through the device. They screw out. And in their place goes a no leak quick coupling. So the no leak means that you can disconnect it and no coolant will leak out of the system. I'll tighten that up in a moment with a spanner, but just not too tight. It's got an O-ring, so that should seal well. You can see on the CCD there are no fans. It's only liquid cool, so we really didn't have a choice as to how we cooled this particular CCD. And it disconnects, and there's a little valve in there to stop any leaks. In the system, we'll be using a coolant that is made for CPU cooling. It's a glycol type of coolant. It's not the same as automotive coolant. Apparently automotive coolant does have silicates that can block up the cooling channels on the CCD. This is the completed setup. It did take a long time to complete, probably about 5 hours from start to finish. No catch points. This is a little bit of elastic that's holding the tubes out of the way of catching in the various catch points that we have around this. We found that leading the system was quite laborious. This accumulator accumulates the air, but it did require that we turn the pump over and over, backwards and forwards, this way and that way and that way and that way, until all the air was bled out. And even now, this is about 4 days after I did the installation, I see that one of the tubes has got a few mils of air that has accumulated in the tube, so I'll need to bleed that out as well. But it turned out to be a lot more complicated a job, but that FLI imager is now running at -20 degrees. So very successful, but not an easy job. There is a very small piece of plastic caught in the impeller. Obviously a little bit of plastic left over from manufacturing, unfortunately. So at least I can fix that. That shouldn't be too hard. It's about 2 weeks later, and it wasn't supposed to be a product review, but already the mounting clips for the tank have broken off. So I'm back on with a cable tie. It's fine, but shouldn't have had to do it. So what conclusions can we draw? Liquid cooling is actually quite a lot of work, and like a lot of astronomy equipment, there are bugs to iron out. The QHY liquid cooler looks very sophisticated, but my impression is that it's not up to QHY's very high usual standards. I had no instructions for this scope setup, so it took a bit of trial and error with tube sizes, routing, air bleeding and the like. But in the end, the cooling effect on the CCD is undeniable. In this case, we didn't have a choice, but some images, such as the SBIG STX 16803, come with both liquid and air cooling options. Next time I'm faced with a liquid cooling option, I will approach it with more experience under my belt